Before we get to our witnesses, I want to ask the chairman of the subcommittee on crime, the gentleman from Arizona, Mr. Biggs, for an opening statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you everyone for being here. I thank our witnesses for being here to testify today, and our members. Thank you to the FOP for opening up your doors and providing this wonderful facility for us. I want to also let everyone know that this is an official committee hearing. Committee hearing as if we were in Washington, D.C. in the House of Representatives. It is official. Every member of this committee knew about it and was invited to be here and has a duty, quite frankly, to be here. But you'll notice that, unfortunately, some of my colleagues across the aisle decided they didn't want to come and hear these important witnesses and what they have to testify and consider this very critical and important issue. And I'm saddened for that. I'm saddened for that. But I will tell you that the Crime Subcommittee has worked hard on these issues. And let me just give you an idea. We've had hearings on retail crime because that's exploding in cities. Speaking of exploding, the explosion of fentanyl across our country. It affects everyone, small cities, large cities. In San Francisco, for instance, every day 3 people die from fentanyl overdose. We've talked about border crime. We actually had a field hearing in Cochise County, Arizona, because of what's happening across our border. And it explodes and also impacts everything, including here in Chicago. You're impacted by the illegal migration that's taking place. Again, at that field hearing, an official hearing, not one Democrat showed up. What a shame. Last week we had a hearing for victims of sex trafficking, which is America is the biggest sex trafficking, and our federal government is the biggest logistic arm for the cartels who are bringing in sex trafficking, facilitating sex trafficking. What a shame. We will have a series of hearings to mark up a number of bills and legislation dealing with all of these issues, commencing Thursday and going regularly for the remainder of this year. I thank the chairman, Mr. Jordan, for his leadership on this issue and for bringing us here to Chicago, this great city. On Sunday, Breitbart News reported at least 30 shootings in Chicago over the weekend with 3 fatalities. One victim, an 86-year-old man, was shot around 10 a.m. on Saturday while retrieving something from his truck. The second fatality occurred at 12:40 a.m. Sunday, about 2 miles from here, where we're sitting, where a 40-year-old was shot in the chest. And the third fatality occurred at 10:45 a.m. The 24-year-old victim was sitting in his vehicle when another vehicle pulled up alongside. 2 men exited and opened fire, killing the man. The Chicago Sun-Times has reported at least 433 people killed in Chicago from January 1 through September 24. Crime is also pushing businesses out of Chicago. Walmart has permanently closed 1/2 of their locations in Chicago in recent months. AT&T, Gap, Banana Republic, Uniqlo, Macy's, and Verizon have all closed locations in Chicago. Yesterday, a member of my staff went to grab a few items from Walgreens located across the street from the Art Institute of Chicago, around the corner from the iconic Cloud Gate sculpture in Grant Park. A sign indicated the store will be closing permanently within the month. And aisle by aisle, every product, including deodorant, toothpaste, were behind locked cases to prevent the retail crime. These soft on crime policies undermine the rule of law and limit the freedom of everyday people. Law-abiding everyday people live in fear, and that fear results in limits on the ability to travel, engage in commerce, and to associate one with another. These policies emasculate law enforcement. They hand over control of a once great American city to violent criminals. And when I speak about this, I'm thinking of what really makes a community, its ability to trust each other. And that seems to be gone in so many cities. Tragedy. It's a tragedy. And we look at our citizens and we say, how could this be? How can it be? It is because of failure of leadership. And I predict to you
that we as a nation, if we continue on this path of lawlessness and a disregard for the rule of law, we will lose our freedoms. In order to have freedom, you must adhere to the rule of law. I look forward to our witnesses' testimony today. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.